requirement of food from 220 million metric tons to it maybe goes up to 400 million metric tons in coming years. But the point here is there is no much increase in the net cultivated area, and again year and year if you see the maybe the same amount of food grains we are producing. But the only answer for this challenge is increasing the agriculture productivity and to have the self-sustainability for us. Having said that, I just wanted to go, we know the population, we know the other challenges. Now the important issue of water. Water is becoming very scarcity day by day. Of course this year we see some good rainfall, but some of the parts of India we don't. Say for example Haryana and that places. Country like in India, so the agriculture uses 83% of water, the fresh water I'm talking about, and the industry 12 and the domestic use 5. If we see in case of Andhra Pradesh, because we are taking this seminar here, I just wanted to quote this example. In any country, in any place, per capita, if we are getting 1,700 cubic meters of water, less than 1,700 cubic meters of water, that place is called as a scarce country. So there are more than 19 water scarce country in the world today, and if we see the Andhra Pradesh here today, we are 75 million, and if we go up to 90 million and above, then definitely we are going to be water scarce state here. So that is what is the number says. So when I said that this is called virtual water, so 1700 cubic meter we don't drink, but it's virtual water. So for example, if we drink 1 cup of coffee, 1 cup of coffee is equal to 150 liters of water. So this is growing tea, growing milk, growing sugar, everything together. If we drink 1 cup of coffee, we are drinking 150 liters of water. The madam mentioned that 1 kg of rice, 1 kg of rice is more than 5,000 liters of water. If somebody is eating meat is even more expensive in case of water. So that is what water statistics, and we know that water is scarcity and we need to deal with that. So these are the drivers, and what are the drivers for crop production with less water? Number 1 is population, number 2 is food security, unpredictable rainfall and groundwater mining, and alternative demands and industrialization is happening, so we need to care for more water. So that is what the technology innovation is essential here. So we need to develop technologies to help farmers cope with the water scarcity. So water saving technologies we say today, but it is better to say technologies to cope up with water scarcity. We need to develop that technologies. We are talking about micro irrigation, greenhouses. That means micro irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinklers, micro sprinklers, so on and so forth. And it means several things to many people. People think that drip irrigation is required for the water conservation. Some people say it is to enhance the productivity, quality, whatever it is. And there are people who take drip irrigation only to save labor. So for example, if you go to Krishna Delta, and if I ask to go for any farmer to go with drip irrigation in sugarcane, so he maybe literally he may not require drip irrigation straight away for him. But for him there is another need. Maybe he need to save his labor or maybe energy or something else. So power saving is a motive. And marginal quality of water, so not all water is fresh water at good quality, high TDS water, alkaline water, whatever it is. So this drip irrigation may answer for that kind of water also. And some kind of unproductive soils, gravel soil and kind of things also can be used when we use drip irrigation. So there are so many advantages we can see when we use this micro irrigation. What is the theme here? I just wanted to mention in one slide here is that irrigating soil or irrigating plant. In micro irrigation we say only one thing, we irrigate plant, we don't irrigate soil. You may see here in pictures that generally we just irrigate the entire land and think that we are irrigating the crop. So this is totally different when we use micro irrigation. We definitely need to understand the need of the crop. How much water a crop requires, whether it is a tomato, capsicum, rice, whatever it is, any crop, how much water it requires. We have some calculations, but are we irrigating in this way? And in India, in generally I don't mention like India, or maybe I travel across the country also. In many places, the irrigation schedules are based on mostly on water availability, or maybe power availability, or labor availability. If we have more water, we irrigate more. If we have less water, we irrigate less. If we have more power, 24 hours, we switch on the pump just like. So there is no proper scheduling of irrigation based on the crop requirement.